Okay, so the American victory over the British Army was in large part because every white man had a gun and could shoot. Just about every white man. But it's important to know that general enthusiasm for the war was not strong. While much of the white male population went into military service at one time or another during the war, only a small fraction stayed. It's important to remember that. So for the elite people that were running the colonies at this time, they knew that most people did not want to really go forth with this war. This was, again, a war between the rich. So this wasn't a poor man's problem. It wasn't. But like we learned in yesterday's chapter, the rich people were able to pay their way out of war, and the poor people had to, or else they would go to jail or they would be punished. So it says here that perhaps a fifth of the population was actively treasonous. John Adams had estimated a third opposed, a third in support, a third neutral. The other thing here is that slavery got in the way in the South. Remember, there's still rebellions. There are still people fighting, right? South Carolina, insecure since the slave uprising in Stono in 1739, could hardly fight against the British. Her militia had to be used to keep slaves under control. So the thing is that the people who were in the militias who were fighting against the British were typically like wealthier men. It says here, the men who first joined the colonial militia were generally hallmarks of respectability, or at least of full citizenship, which meant they had property, they had money, they paid taxes, they were voting, blah, blah, blah. So when there weren't enough of the rich people who could join the militia, and when they realized that they needed more people, what they did was that they allowed poor white men, less respectable whites, the strollers, aka vagrants, they let them into the militia because they had no choice. Not because they wanted to, they had to. And so let's move on to the next video.